Hi, welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. This is Nick. This weekend we got the rematch of Leigh Wood versus Mauricio Lara. A couple of months ago, it was Mauricio Lara that took Leigh Wood's belt away from him. He's giving him the rematch. They had a rematch clause, and yeah, I'm like everyone hates these rematch clauses and stuff like that. I'm glad for a fight like this. That was a fight where Leigh Wood was the champion. He was winning the whole fight. He got knocked out with one punch. And to be honest, like Leigh Wood just taking that fight, like that was not a mandatory. Like I don't know why the hell you're picking a guy like Mauricio Lara as an optional defense when you don't have to. But the guy had the balls to do it, and he got two fights out of it, which he deserves because had you either got two fights of these two or you got no fights, and you got Leigh Wood going up against some soft opponent so they could set up, a unification, in a couple years or something like that. But Leigh Wood didn't take that route, and shout out to him for doing that. So he deserves this rematch, and he fought his ass off in that first fight. He just he made one mistake. He tried hooking with a hooker. He got caught with a left hook, and we'll see if he corrects the mistakes here. We'll see what happens in this fight. I'm just telling you right now, from a betting standpoint, everything is the same in this fight as it was in the last one. The line's minus 300, so you got a 3-1 favorite with Mauricio Lara. How can't you go with Mauricio Lara again? Like, I went Mauricio Lara the first time. There was a few times during the fight that I was sweating a little bit because I just didn't know. I'm like, man, is Mauricio Lara going to kick it on at some point? Because it did look like he was a little tired in that first fight, and he just looked confused at times. Like, he couldn't figure out Leigh Wood. Like, Leigh Wood had this amazing boxing ability, and he couldn't figure him out. But the more and more you watch that fight, and I did a video after the fight, like I think that's just Mauricio Lara's style, and whatever you're doing to him in those first 4 or 5 rounds or whatever, that's all like downloaded knowledge, and he's just using that so he can just knock you out at some point later on in the fight. And that's what happened in that fight. So is it a coincidence that it happened? Did Leigh Wood just make one mistake or whatever? We're gonna find out here because in this fight, I mean, hey, what if Leigh Wood just continues what he was doing in the first fight and doesn't get clipped with one punch or even gets knocked down, but still wins a decision because he dominated so much? Let's see if these things can happen. But my thing is, I mean, if you're putting money on this fight, like I ain't banking on that to happen. Like Leigh Wood's not gonna be able to duplicate. This is my big thing. He's not gonna be able to duplicate the performance. He had a great performance against Lara last time, and he still lost. That might have been the best performance of his career, and he still lost. So I don't know why I think he's gonna get better within a couple of months after being knocked out, and it was pretty vicious knocked out. I mean, some people are saying the fight shouldn't have been stopped. I don't agree with that. Like, it was a pretty vicious left hook, and his legs were not there. But coming back this quick after a knockout, just mentally against the same guy, and you're 34 years old, so you're not getting any younger. And in that weight class, I don't like it. I don't like it at 126 pounds. You coming back, you have too close weight cuts pretty much because that fight was only a couple of months ago, I think. But yeah, I mean Mauricio Lara's 24 years old. I mean the guy's not going to get worse, so he's just getting better. He's just getting stronger. He's growing into like those are the years in like boxing they call like that's where you get your man strength. It's like those 22, 23, 24. Like he's starting to become a real dude and. He's getting better, whereas I think Leigh Wood will regress after this fight. And I still think Leigh Wood deserves, big fights for the rest of his career, pretty much, especially after taking that Lara fight the first time. But in all honesty, like if I'm putting my money on somebody, I'm just riding that Mauricio Lara bandwagon until it falls off. Like to be honest, I don't know if I put it against at 126. I don't know who I pick against him. So it's going to be interesting to see, what's going to happen in this division. Hopefully, we will get the winner of this fight with the winner of the other fight that's going on. It's going on in like the same time. The start times are almost identical for these fights. But Mickey Conlan versus Luis Alberto Lopez, another awesome fight that's going on, and right in the same weight class. So I'm assuming they're trying to set up the unification fight after this, but we'll see. But Yeah, if I'm gonna pick a round here, I'm gonna say Lara. Like the thing is with these rematches, like when the favorite knocks out the underdog the first time, when they have a rematch, like the favorite just wins, but he wins faster. So that's the trend that I'm gonna pick here, and I'm just gonna say that Lara gets it done in, I'm gonna say round 6 this time. And I just don't think Leigh Woods is dominant from the get go. So Wood could, or Lara could take some of those early rounds off. But man, whenever he decides to step on it, he can knock you out with one punch, and I think that's what he's going to do to Leigh Wood. Is he's going to catch him? It's just going to be earlier, and because Lara, I don't think he respects Leigh Wood's power that much, and I think he'll spend less time off his back foot. He spent a lot of time on his back foot in that last fight, and I didn't know what the hell that was all about, but it all worked out in the end. So I'm just going to keep giving him the benefit of the doubt that I don't know what I'm watching, but he knows what he's doing in there, and because the knockouts just eventually come. Like that's what I had to do with Tank Davis in his career. Like all throughout his career, I would be sitting there like, dude, this guy's losing rounds. He's giving away this. He's not doing this. I just found out like he's very economical with his punches, and eventually he's just gonna knock the other dude out, and he knows that. So same thing for Mauricio Lara. But yeah, let's just go with the under in this fight. The under is 8.5, and Lara by TKO, or we'll go KO in round 6. And so let me know who you think's going to win this fight, and let me know who you think's going to win Mickey Conlan versus Luis Alberto Lopez too. And then if those winners fight, let me know who you think could win that. Have a good night.